This is Elio of the planet Earth. I come in peace, and I'm super excited to join you. I'm creative, hardworking, shredded. So please come and get me. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Love you. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh, no.
You're listening to Tonebender's Sound Design Podcast, presented by Sound Ideas. This is the show where we talk with the sonic artists behind our favorite films, games, and series. After over a year of dedicated work, the entire Sound Ideas sound effects collection, over 500,000 individual files, have been upgraded to the Universal Category System's file name and metadata standards. With this enhancement, sounds are now more organized, searchable, and ready for seamless integration into your workflow. Head over to sound-ideas.com to learn more. Hey everybody, welcome to Tonebenders. My name is Tim Muirhead, and with me today, back from a long break, is Renee Coronado. It's good to have you back, Renee.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
The reason I have Renee with me today is we made the announcement of our event coming up in Mexico City, but today we actually have the link for registration to give out to you, and we're going to tell you who the panelists are in the two talks leading up to the sound design meetup in the evening. So the link is going to be in the show notes of this episode. Click on it. The reason we want you to register for this one is because it actually has free food and drinks. So we need to know how many people are coming so we have enough food and drinks for everyone. So please register. It's only like 2 questions, your name, your email address, and that's it. So it'll take you a second. But if you're planning on coming, please let us know, and that way we'll have enough for everybody. And we also want to announce the panelists for the talks. So the first talk is going to be kind of a 20-year anniversary of Pan's Labyrinth, and we've got a bunch of the original sound team together. Renee, do you want to tell us who's going to be there?
Yeah, so it's going to be Jaime Bacht, Martin Hernandez, and Alejandro Quevedo. Jaime Bacht, the re-recording mixer, Martin Hernandez, the sound designer and supervising sound editor, and Alejandro Quevedo, the sound designer and a sound editor as well for Pan's Labyrinth, the classic.
Yes, the classic Pan's Labyrinth. Jaime's got an Oscar for Sound of Metal. Martin Hernandez has got 2 Oscar nominations for The Revenant and Birdman. These are heavy hitters in Mexico, and we're super excited to have them joining us. So the first one with Pan's Labyrinth, Renee and I are going to be hosting. It's going to be kind of a live Tonebenders episode that will come out later in the year. And then the second one is going to be moderated by Carlos Honk. Renee, some of the same panelists, and then a few additional ones.
So the panel is called The Present and Future of Soundpost in Mexico. And Jaime, Martin, and Alejandro will also be on that panel, as well as Javier Umpierrez, who won the Mexican Academy Ariel Award for Best Sound, Pablo Locke, who also won a Mexican Academy Ariel Award for Best Sound, and Pamela Casasa, who's representing a new generation of sound designers with 35 features and streaming credits already going.
That's going to be amazing, just those talks. Then we're going to all get together, have a taco dinner, have drinks, and hang out into the evening and kind of tell stories with friends and colleagues and hopefully meet a bunch of new friends and colleagues in the night. So it would be amazing. Anyone in the Mexico City area, come on down. It's going to be a really fun night. I personally am excited. We've done sound design meetups before, but this one is kind of adding the new element of panels earlier in the day. And even earlier in the day, both Renee and I will be giving talks to the students at SAE Institute. I'm pretty excited about that too. It's not something I've done a lot of. So students, get ready for me to stumble through my presentation.
Yeah, these are going to be fun. And it's a great honor to be called in to speak to the students and to the people that are coming up. And so I'm looking forward to it, man. The food in Mexico City is superior. It's like better cinnamon, better chocolate, all of the better vanilla. It's all so good.
Well, we mentioned SAE Institute. I want to put out a big thanks to the sponsors of this event. SAE Institute is sponsoring it and hosting it. And then Motion Picture Sound Editors are also sponsoring and making this all possible. Not only are Renee and I going down, but also Brian Armstrong, an amazing supervising sound editor who won the Emmy last year for Shogun. He works on the Walking Dead series. He's amazing. He's going to be there as well. So you'll be able to pick his brain if you come out to the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope to see as many people that can make it out come out. It's going to be amazing. Use the registration link to let us know if you're coming. And now I'm going to throw it to my interview with the directors and the sound team of the recent Pixar film, Elio. Thanks a lot for joining me, Renee. It's good talking to you again.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
I'm always excited when we get to have a director on the show to talk with me along with the sound team from a project. And today we are getting a 2-for-1 special as we have 2 directors from the Pixar film Elio. It's just arrived on Disney Plus after a theatrical run earlier this year. Welcome Domee Shi and Madeline Sharafian, co-directors of Elio. It's great to meet you both.
Yay! Thank you. Great to meet you.
Awesome. Joining Domee and Madeline are the film's supervising sound editor and sound designer, Jeremy Bowker. It's great to meet you, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.
And finally, we have our returning guest that I'm really happy to talk with again. Bonnie Wild is with us. Bonnie has been previously on Tonebenders to talk about her work on The Mandalorian and Moon Knight. She's back again. She was the re-recording mixer on this film. Welcome back, Bonnie.
Hi, Tim. Good to see you again.
I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about kind of the communication between the audio post team and a film's directors. Domee, maybe you can take this first. How much interaction do you want to have with the sound team? How much direction are you giving them?
Oh, I feel like it was a pretty collaborative process. I remember we brought in Jeremy first. We just watched the whole film with Jeremy in a room, and we would pause.
Talk about important
emotional beats of the movie and just try to give him a sense of the emotional kind of landscape, because neither of us come from sound or music, but we always kind of approach our directing from a sense of feeling and what we want the audience to feel in any given moment. So that's kind of where we started the conversation.
Madeline, do you want to add to that?
I feel like that was helpful because it was this sort of new take on space. Pixar's done a few sci-fi films before, and we really wanted this one to be a friendly, warm, and welcoming version of space when Elio goes to the Communiverse. So I really loved that we got to talk to Jeremy early on and talk about the sound types that Domee and I like, that we enjoy hearing, so that we also think the Communiverse sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's an aspirational version of space. So it's not like a typical sci-fi movie where space and aliens, they're scary or cold. I remember when we talked with Jeremy, we wanted it to feel, warm, welcoming, the opposite of what Elio was feeling on Earth when he was more ostracized. And that was a fun challenge, I think, just to create an appealing space.
Yeah.
You know?
Jeremy, what was it like from your end?
Yeah, that was a real gift to get that kind of guidance, because sometimes someone tells you too specifically what they want in a non-emotional way. You get a little lost because there are too many variables, but just kind of having an emotional compass, if you will, to guide you through was incredibly helpful. Every once in a while, we would get into the specifics.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, they were absolutely up for making their own vocalizations for what they were hoping for, and I would take that and try my own version. Was it the Gomesians? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, the little
Maddie made sure to go wah, 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 wah. And
every time I had the opportunity, I will do it, just like now.
yeah, that turned out to be a successful recipe.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about our own kind of inspiration and references that we could pull from. Both of us are big fans of Nintendo games, like Pikmin, like Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of very satisfying sounds and sound effects from Nintendo.
New character sounds and pings and pops that
it's very
feel really good.
Yeah. We even talked about ASMR and just the way in which, it's walking and experiencing and being in the Communiverse should have this satisfying quality. When the character Ooh pops up on screen, she's a liquid supercomputer. There should be something kind of delicious and goopy and
but satisfying.
Satisfying.
Button.
Yeah. About the way that she moves.
Hi! I knew aliens are looking for me! You saved my life! I promise I'll put my weight on this, spaceship? Is this a spaceship? Anyway, where should we start? Probe samples? I've got plenty!
It sounds so good whenever she appears.
Yeah, it's so satisfying.
You did great, Jeremy. You
Oh,
did it.
thanks. Well, it was all in Bonnie's capable hands.
But Jeremy was also really good at like communicating that in the pre-dubs. Jeremy is like not only a very talented sound designer, but he's also very good at communication and he's very organized. So Jeremy had done playbacks to like sign off the sounds, reels when the sound effects were cut and then when they were pre-dubbed. And so like going into the final, we had a pretty dialed in set of pre-dubs, you know, stuff that had been signed off, and we kind of also knew what we had to kind of continue working on. That was like really nice. That felt like a privileged position to go in to the final mix like that. Like Domee Maddie had heard all the sounds, which is great because sometimes people haven't, and then you're just hearing sounds for the first time. It's really difficult to get used to it. So yeah, that was really cool.
But it really takes a director or directors who are willing to take the time. And let's face it, every film these days is very, very busy, but they made sure to take time to actually come across the bay and come up. A lot of it was during the pre-dub process. Also be very open-minded. We listened to things that Bonnie had already pre-mixed that sounded very well balanced and really sounded like they were grounded in the world. And then they also listened to other things that were freshly cut. And let's just say the paint was wet. Not remotely refined by Bonnie, and they were willing to really kind of take that into context and understand that in essence they were hearing things out of context and still give really great direction. So yeah, that was a great part of the process.
As a directing duo, does one of you focus more on the audio post?
I feel like we're pretty in line with the audio part of it and the music part too.
Yeah.
We got to do everything together at the end because we finally did have more time. Yeah. And like Domee said, we have the same types of references that we draw upon. It's part of why we paired up so well, like Nintendo and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think there was really a moment where we differed in opinion.
No.
Yeah.
I think our taste is pretty aligned, like sound-wise at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it seemed like in several ways your taste was aligned. That not only were you very supportive of each other, but it seemed like at times you shared the same brain in a very beautiful way.
Yes. Yes, good.
When you're directing scenes and they're coming together, you were talking earlier about how you want the sound to convey the emotion. Are you planning out how, if it's going to be music or sound effects ahead of time, or do you let both sides go for it and let it get sorted out in the mix? How do you kind of think about the differences between music and sound as a director?
The latter, right? Like I think we just kick off both sound and
The same
music at the same time, talking about the big picture, like the big emotional beats, and then leave it up to the amazing mixers to figure out like when we want more sound, when we want more score.
Yeah.
We figure all that out later, but
We did do like a pre-kickoff with you guys where we would kind of spot moments where we wanted the score to take over a little bit more. Some moments that we felt very particular about, like if Elio's having a swell of emotion, we would kind of call out, like, just so you know, when you get to this part, we want the music to overtake.
Oh, like in the movie, the signal that Elio's little ham radio picks up on, that was something that we kicked both Jeremy off on and our composer, Rob Simonson. And they both came back to us with very different but very cool ideas. I mean, the original inspiration for that signal was Close Encounters. And we wanted this like iconic kind of melody that we could only hear like half of at first.
Yeah.
And when Elio first finally arrives to the Communiverse, you hear the full melody play. It was an iterative process where we kind of bounced back and forth between sound and music, right?
Jeremy and Rob had to agree on what was it, like 5 notes or 4 notes or something? Do you remember, Jeremy? Help.
You know, I don't trust my memory, first of all. And the truth is someone else might have also pitched it. So I don't want to claim that I was the first one to pitch it. But I do remember, I think during our first meeting, when we, referred to other iconic melodies like, Close Encounters or something like that. I remember saying, wouldn't it be fun if it was essentially stolen from part of the score?
Yeah.
And what was great about Rob's, his Communiverse theme, it had two parts to it, and it was kind of a call and response. Not just a call and response, but kind of question and answer.
Yeah.
And I thought, what an exciting way to kind of kick off a film or the mystery of film by taking the part of the melody that sounds like a question.
Yeah.
And embracing that as the signal.
Yeah.
So it ended up becoming that kind of ba-da-da-da, and there'd be a pause and it would loop again. And we tried, I think I made like 150 different versions.
Right.
Which sounds impressive, but you'd listen to them and think, Jeremy, a lot of those sound pretty similar. I think it ended up being essentially me whistling a single note with it kind of simplified some of the harmonics taken out of the whistling.
Yeah.
And then we dusted off an old ham radio FUT set, which I believe Ben Burtt had used on some of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, cool.
And recorded tons of variations. And what's interesting with a ham radio is when you tune through different frequencies, it actually changes the pitch. So a few times we'd cut it in and then realize that we needed to go into pitch and time and kind of get it to behave itself. By the time we get to the scene where Olga is discovering the signal, what had been handed to Bonnie can only be described as what my dorm room looked like in college. It was just an absolute mess. She wrangled it into just a really beautiful scene that brings a lot of clarity.
We had time to fiddle, which is good. We had like a demo of the score, so we kind of knew what we were going to be like working with, which was super helpful. By the time we got to that scene, we'd had like the beach. Where else had we had it? We had it a couple of times. So we'd kind of had it established as this call. And so then it was this trickery of trying to make it work both consciously and subconsciously. And even with like that scene with all the pieces falling into place and kind of using it as a code breaking moment as well, which was it was pretty cool. And Laura's really good at that as well. The other re-recording mixer are kind of spotting these little places to kind of enhance the moment and kind of solidify that little motif. Do, 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 do. It's very catchy.
It was definitely stuck in our heads.
It was.
Yeah, in the best of ways.
Yeah. But I did love that. That was my favorite bit, the ham radio. The woo do do do. I love that. That was really cool.
Yeah. That kind of tuning in sound helped with the mystery of Olga discovering it.
Yeah.
Also, I want to mention the amazing work from our team, people like Joel Robbie, Steve Bressinger, Jesse Drake, Richard Gold, Cheryl Nardi was our dialogue supervisor, and Jordan Myers was our Foley supervisor.
It's a good crew.
And our walkers were Jana Vance and Ronnie Brown. I want to make sure that they get their dues. They all did a wonderful job.
Spoiled.
Yeah.
They all did a fantastic job. There's a bunch of sound effects scenes that I want to talk about, but we're limited on time. But
yeah,
Elio first gets put in jail. He falls down a hole, and he meets the character that is going to basically become his best friend.
Lorden.
But they don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrifying at the beginning.
So good.
It sounds amazing. Was there any back and forth on how scary to make that? Maybe Madeline, do you want to start with that?
We asked Jeremy to go as scary as he possibly could.
You did. I said, okay.
And I think when you first pitched us what we ended up using, you were like, I think it's too far, guys. And then we heard it. We were like, yes, it was so good. We had sort of talked about like how Hylergians, which is what Glorden is, are basically this big resonant tube. And we were like, maybe there can be that kind of like almost like clicking sound, echolocation of this vibrating tube, like all this stuff. But then what Jeremy added was also the terrifying like breath of a child. Like he added onto that Glorden is a child. So it also sounds like like a haunted child screaming in your face. It was so perfect.
Hi there.
I felt a real chill when I heard it for the first time, and we were like, you do not tone that down at all. That
The amount of endorphins that were running through my brain when I saw you watch that for the first time, which was off the charts.
it was so good. I don't remember listening to it more than once. I think you kind of got it the first time, but I don't know if I'm remembering that wrong.
Yeah, you're remembering correctly.
Yeah.
That was a really fun one to see exactly how scary we could make it. A great reference video of was it a jaguar?
Yeah.
Kind of a warning, kind of guttural sound, doing an impression of it myself, and then that turned into the kind of guttural stuff. And then some of the scary stuff was human vocalization, and then turns out raccoons can be pretty scary too.
Whoa.
Nice.
I feel like we made that scarier even in the final, because we had it when he was lowering and he did a scary bit. And then he used to just whoosh by. And then I can't remember which one of you were like, let's add a scuttle.
Of course it was Domee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrifying. And there's like an object just like flying across the top of us. It's like, oh God.
The best thing was watching Bonnie jump at every single
time.
scary moment in the film, no matter how many times she had to mix it. It was so funny.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me.
It was just a sign of a good mix. Yeah.
Don't change.
So, Bonnie, on a mixed stage, there's a million different types of directors and how they behave on a mixed stage. Do you want to tell us what these two directors were like? What the interaction was like on the mixed stage?
Oh, they're the best. They're the best. You know, Domee Maddie, when they come on the stage, make everybody like happy, like, oh, cool, they're here. And, you know, because you know it's going to be like a kind process, you know, and an open process, and everybody can just kind of relax and do good work and make suggestions, and they can be a bit out there and it's okay, you know, and they can be bad and that's fine. It's underrated how that environment just kind of breeds like a more creative atmosphere, just where everybody can be relaxed and do good work. So thank you guys.
There's a special balance when you know that both the crew and the directors are absolutely at the top of their game, and then it's okay to be a goofball. I think working with people who are just, you know, the absolute best, who are goofballs, is just the best thing in life. It's great.
Aw, we had so much fun.
A lot of times directors find that the final mix stage is one of their favorite times because they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're almost there. Are you looking forward to going to the mix stage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
It is like the treat. It's like our reward for toiling through the entire movie production. And then we get the reward of like nerding out with Jeremy and Bonnie about like the exact like sound of Elio's footsteps as he's walking through a Hylergian ship. Like you get to be nerdy and noodly and just like plus the film. Like the film can only get better at the start of this stage. That just takes all the pressure off kind of because we know that we're in such good hands that it's just going to take the movie to the next level. You
even notice some things that all your other departments added. Like the Communiverse has a lot going on in it, and Domee and I throughout the process are mostly focused on the story and like, is it conveying enough, and like the main characters acting and all that stuff. But once we listen to like the Atmos, I'm noticing details that I never saw before because you guys have added unique sound to them, and the world feels so much richer. And I appreciate not just your work, but everyone else's work all the more. Like it's really incredible. It's like you get blinders taken off, but if blinders were on your ears.
So much bigger and more epic with music and sound mixed in there. Like the movie just like levels up and has this sense of gravitas, and the funny scenes are funnier, the scary scenes are scarier, the emotional scenes just like hit you a lot harder. Everything just gets like supercharged at this stage, so it's so much fun.
I think I cried at the end. It was, right? The final scene was the last scene that we did, which doesn't always happen. final
Yeah.
scene in our movie is very like music heavy and loud and stuff. And it was just so cool.
Oh,
Yeah. Even on within our crew, okay, bye, I love you,
So please come and get me. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Love you.
became something that was, I would say, 20% said jokingly, and then 80% like, we really love each other. It's a great crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Well, that's a great note to leave it on. It's awesome. You guys have a great mutual admiration society going on. It's always wonderful to hear about a process where the directors are allowing freedom and creativity, because I think Jeremy and Bonnie, along with me, you could probably say that you've been on projects where that is not a fostering experience. It just makes you not want to go to work in the morning, you know? And so when you do have that, you got to cherish it.
Yeah, and I think they embraced that in the best of ways, where initially they gave you guidance, and then there's this period in the middle where it's like, throw paint at the wall, you get to do it whatever you want, but then also in a very responsible director way, they're there at the end to act as emotional and storytelling filters to make sure that it still adheres to their vision of what they hope the film would be.
It was great meeting you all and good seeing you again, Bonnie. Thanks a lot for talking to me today. Maybe we can get together after the next film.
Yay.
So great to see all of you.
Thanks so much.
It's always great when we get directors. Big thanks to Domee, Madeline, Jeremy, and Bonnie. Remember the upcoming Tonebenders event in Mexico City, sponsored by the MPSE and the SAE Institute, coming up on October 21st. Don't miss it. After over a year of dedicated work, the entire Sound Ideas sound effects collection, over 500,000 individual files, have been upgraded to the Universal Category Systems file name and metadata standards. With this enhancement, sounds are now more organized, searchable, and ready for seamless integration into your workflow. Head over to sound-ideas.com to learn more. Tonebenders is produced by me, Timothy Muirhead. Theme music is by Jim Guthrie. You can reach me via email through info@tonebenderspodcast.com. Follow Tonebenders on Instagram to stay on top of new episodes. If you like the show, you can help us out by spreading the word to your friends and colleagues, or leave us a tip. Just go to tonebenderspodcast.com and click support.